Hey Terry, I guess at this stage of the season, of course, games fast running out, as you alluded to, in the week. I guess as well, the games can't come soon enough for you in many ways.
No, I was really disappointed with the first half performance against Walsall. Everything that we spoke about, and we didn't have much time because of the injuries that we got from the Scunthorpe game, so there wasn't that much time to work. We lost Nathan Smith really late on. And then with the injury to Kings as well, which was a sickening injury really. I mean, it seemed to take, you know, a good 5-6 minutes for him to come round, and then after that it just killed the pattern of the game for us. And that was the worst we'd been under me so far. First half. Second half we gave it more of a go. We put them under pressure. We created, I would say, you know, 4 or 5 clear-cut chances, including the penalty where we should have scored, and we seemed to revert back psychologically to what we was doing before, and not taking the chances. The goalkeeper pulling off good saves, and you know, the pressure didn't tell. And for us, I've not put no pressure on the players. I've wanted them to go and express themselves and enjoy themselves. And that was the first time that I saw tense people, and you can't get the best out of them like that. Second half was a bit better, and we're in today. Obviously, I'm just going to do this press conference now out on the training field in a minute, and we're going to just get them back into being confident on the front foot, expressing themselves. We'll be getting into them areas today to make sure that we keep practicing our finishing and scoring goals, because at this time of the season we have been scoring goals, but that's probably our sort of second shutout, or the first home game where we haven't scored. And that was disappointing. We've got to score goals at home. Yeah,
and what's the mood like within the playing squad itself? You mentioned there that you sense the edginess and stuff. The mood in the squad, though, is it reasonably upbeat?
Well, you've got to get yourself back into fight mode again. Now it's a massive game for us on Saturday against Oldham. Of course, Dean Holden's come in there now as a sort of acting manager as well, and he's been assisted by one of my very good central defensive partners in Adam Lockwood. And although he's been playing, so very determined characters, a little bit like myself and Darren, and it's going to be a good game, and we need to make sure that we get the 3 points in that game. Again, the supporters vented their frustrations at half time, rightly so. We didn't give them enough. Second half they got behind us more because we give them something, and it's no good for me asking for the supporters to get behind us and then us being like that in the first half. We've got to come out and start the game how we finished it, and we have been doing that, and just to let the supporters know that the boys will be going full tilt on Saturday.
Yeah, is it good to have another home game on the back of it then? Are you happy that this game's at home?
Yes, definitely. I'm happy with the next 2 being at home, because we're not travelling. After my sort of first game at home, we had 2 real tricky away ties, and it was a lot of miles we had to put in, and we'll have that again soon with Colchester and Leyton Orient. So we've got to take care of this now, and at home we've got to hammer. Well, I've got to hammer home the point to the players that we've got to do more. We've got to do more in these games, and we will do. Yeah.
What have you made of Oldham since Lee's departure? You mentioned there about the changes they've had. I guess you don't get a chance really to worry too much about them, though, do you?
No, it's been a mixed bag for them. I think the first game they got beat 4-0, and then they had a really good result on Tuesday, and played well. So it could be anything, you know, especially with us first half and second half. I think both, they've sort of been a little bit more resilient in their second game, and we haven't. So we've got to make sure that we don't concede goals. The foundation's strong, but we've still got that attacking football and creating the chances and taking them at the key moments in games, because we've been having chances at the key moments and not taking them so much, and that's why we've drawn a couple where perhaps, you know, well, I definitely feel that we should have at least won 2 of the games.
Yeah, I guess when you're at the bottom of the table, it's always harder to find that next win, isn't it? That comes with the pressure, I suppose.
Yeah, but the pressure's not been on the players, so you know, I've tried to take that away from them a little bit, and they've got to. We keep saying they've got to be resilient. Out of possession, we've got to be resilient. But then when we win the ball, then you've got to be relaxed and you've got to keep it, and you've got to wait and be patient for the openings to arrive. You can't keep forcing things, and that was what we was doing before, and we're trying to say no, we've got to go about it in a different kind of way, but still create that tempo and that atmosphere that the supporters are going to get behind us and really drive us on. So it's just getting that balance right, and we've got to make sure that we do that, especially on Saturday.
Yeah, you mentioned Stephen Kingsley's injury. What is the latest developments on his situation?
Yeah, well, the first scans that we got said no fracture. But he was in this morning at 11 o'clock. We're just waiting for them to come back now, and we'll find out the full extent. So it's still a little bit touch and go. He's had to go and see another specialist today, but fingers crossed he'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean that will be great news, of course, because you say it looked a nasty one.
It did, and he had a really good start to the game. And before that, we was really sort of taking the onus. We was keeping possession of the ball and creating chances. The first 2 chances come from us. So after that, it seemed to shake us a little bit. So yeah, it was a blow, and it would be good if we have got him available for the weekend.
Yeah, and what's the latest on the captain? We always ask about him, his situation.
He's out. He's again out there. I think Saturday might come a little bit too quick for him, but we're expecting him to be minimum Tuesday or Saturday.
Yeah, which is obviously what you want, isn't it? You need your key players on the field.
Yeah, well, listen, to get three concussions or 3 bad gash head injuries, and in the space of 2 games is unheard of. Arthur's, Nathan Smith's eye, and then the crash to Stephen Kingsley on the back of missing your captain. We've had a few strange incidents, to say the least.
Yeah. Good luck, Terry. Thanks for your time.
Cheers. Thank you.
Okay. You mentioned Adam Lockwood earlier. Obviously, going back to the old days. Adam Lockwood's like yourself and Darren were like one of the leaders on the. Are you looking for more leaders to come forward now with the closing weeks?
Yeah, well, listen, our main leader and our captain's out at the moment, so these next coming weeks we're going to be gaining one of them. But I'm happy with what we got, especially out on the pitch. But it's that when you get 1 or 2 injuries or 2 or 3 down, what are the rest saying? What are they doing? And we need to make sure. Recently they've been affecting the games, but we didn't affect it so much this week.
Yeah.
But saying that, people like Joel Grant, who did come on along with Adam Morgan, really did create a good tempo. The supporters was out of their seats. They were really positive, getting at people. And then, for us, they're getting fitter every week. They're getting more game time under their belts. They're getting closer to starts, and that's the sort of tempo and the energy we need. Not sort of the early one where we did look rusty. We can't afford to have that at the moment.
Do you think that some of the players are beginning to get a bit nervous?
On that occasion, yes,
Yeah.
But not so far. Not so far. We've been brave in possession of the ball, and we wasn't so brave on Tuesday. We'll be addressing that today. When you're at Hewish Park, teams are going to come and they're going to make it hard for you to play. So you've got to be brave. You've got to get on the ball. You've got to have touches of the ball. You've got to switch to play to then create opportunities. You can't just go, as I said before, predictable route one, where especially teams in League One are geared up to deal with that. We've got to make the pitch big, play through the lines, and that's how we've been creating our chances, and that's why we've been scoring a few more goals of late.
Okay. And also, a little birdie tells me that Tuesday was your 150th game as Yeovil manager.
Yeah, well, Harry sort of alluded to that to me, so which was really good from him as a statistician, telling me that was my 150th game. So no, it was pleasing, because when you look back on it, it seems that it really went fast the first time round that I was manager. So to get to a milestone like that in your first real club as a manager, for me it's a major achievement. And as soon as Harry told me, I looked back, and I think the second or the third one is Russell Slade. So to be up there as the top 2 along Sir Gary, so to speak, with the amount of league games that he had, and to be there in second place for the Football League games I think that's a major achievement.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just a couple more things with injuries. With Arthur worries, will he be back? Will he be back for the weekend, or is
Arthur Warren?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was the one that missed out as the extra loan, but he'll be fit and available for the weekend. Yes.
And you've got Loach in now on emergency loan for a month. Do you think if we needed longer than that, or is that will that be sufficient for?
Well, it's just a month to start with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if we'll address that sort of later on. But in the short term, we was desperate to make sure that we was getting the we needed that keeper for Tuesday night.
And looking ahead to Oldham, before the result against Port Vale, they'd lost 3 on the bounce, and they conceded quite a lot of goals. Do you think this is a good opportunity to get the goals that you've struggled for of late?
Yeah, I mean, but you always sort of go off of your last game, and they kept a clean sheet, so and we didn't. So for us, it's more work. For them, they'll be trying to keep the momentum going, but no, it's a big game, and it's one where we can't be slow, we can't get out the trap slow, and we've really got to make it a sort of cup atmosphere, and that's something that we're majorly going to do this weekend.
And I know it's not really something you want to look forward to, but I mean, how are you rating your side's chances of avoiding the drop now after the last
we know how many wins we've got to get, but what you don't do is you don't give up, and it's taken me before as the manager of Yeovil Town in my first season. We went up to Tranmere for the second last game of the season, where we needed to get a result out of that game to stay up. So we know that we're definitely strong enough to handle the pressure, to deal with the pressure, and to make sure we do everything in our powers to keep the club up. And nothing changes there. And we're ready to, if it takes going to the wire, we're ready to go and do that. So there's no less belief that we're going to do it.
So does anything need to change tactically, do you think, or is it just bad luck in the last game and with the injury that threw you? Or?
Yeah, well, again, it's the injuries don't really help. Tactically, I think we've been creating more chances and we've been scoring more goals. So tactically, we've been okay, but you can't legislate for a missed penalty and a goalkeeper pulling out 3 worldy saves later on to when you are trying to push to win the game. And as I think people alluded to earlier, when you're down there, them sort of things do go against you a little bit. So if anything, I would like to be a little bit luckier. So I've been watching the way across the roads, not seen any sort of black cats and morning Mr. Magpies and stuff like that, to make sure that we've got the luck behind us.
That's great.
I was going to say, about after Tuesday night and the injury and then the missed penalty and everything else, how do you personally get on with things? Do you go home afterwards and kick the cat?
Well, not the black cat that I've got.
No,
I didn't kick that one.
Exactly.
No, but I'm really competitive, so I get down after we get beat, and I'm really sort of, I get angry and I get annoyed, and then listen, I still get a good night's sleep, and then you wake up in the morning, and then we come in. We came in Wednesday. We went through the video, looked at what went well, what we need to improve on. Then we structure what we're going to do for the next couple of days. Then you go home, and then you get the boys in today, and then you go and work on it. And the one thing that we've been trying to do is make sure that we're out on the training field a lot longer.